Hi there and welcome to Anne's Space. Thanks for joining me on my channel. This is actually a second video of the town of Georgetown in Penang. Now, I did do one video. There was just so many interesting things. I had to do another. So I hope you enjoyed the first one and that you stick around to the end on the second one because I get up to some fun stuff. One of the things I did was actually check out all the little jetty villages. They were fascinating. You can find some little hidden / alleyway lanes. There are also people's homes here, the area that I'm walking in. So I don't know what it would be like living in a place where you got tourists constantly walking past your front door. And yeah, I'm here too. It's pretty quiet at the moment, but I would imagine it gets pretty busy when it's busy tourist season. So it's really interesting looking at all these little old houses on the jetty and all their stilts. But these are the stilts that I like best. Like there's literally hundreds under this building. And it's got the plastic buckets where they pull the concrete through. Oh, and there's one of the great murals. Didn't fall off the edge of the jetty, but we'll get that. So all these buildings on this jetty are actually World Heritage listed, so they're very controlled in what they're allowed to do to them. So this is the Tan Jetty, and as per the sign it was established in 1917, so there doesn't seem to be the tourist shops in this one, so I'll have a little look. Now that sun is very glary, but that's looking across to the Chu Jetty where I just was walking. There's the bridge that I saw when I was just on the ferry to Butterworth. Very hazy. So I'm learning to come into these little backstreet cafes, and I've got a coconut bun and a chamsi, which is like tea with coffee and a bit of milk, but this one looks like it's quite chocolatey, so I'm sure it'll be good. So this jetty is different again. This is Lee Jetty. (1965), so very new, really. Oh, I guess that's actually 60 years old, so yeah, not really so new. So each one of these properties is actually registered, and they've got their license number above the door, like this one here. So yeah, it's seems to be quite well controlled, and these are really nice properties. Like, you know, they look beautiful. You know, I've glanced in some, and yeah, well looked after. So in between these little jetties are lots of small businesses, mostly automotive, but it's actually quite next to quite a busy road, and yeah, there's no footpath, but yes, I'm being super careful, and I think the drivers are very considerate here, so all's good. Yes, so another line of jetty houses. This one's called New Jetty. It was built in, I think it was 1960 that I just read. And they all have a different feel to it. Have I already said that? Sorry if I repeat myself. I get a bit carried away. This is actually a really good spot, and I've just been chatting to a gentleman. He actually lives in Fiji.
You're gonna forget it.
Yeah, I do videos. I talk.
I do videos as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I try to do videos 4 or 5 seconds max, and I put them all together.
Yes.
Otherwise they become too. I mean,
Yeah.
At 2 or 3 minutes.
Long. And I said I'm a bit old to start learning on how to do YouTube, but I've taught myself, and now that's what I do.
Yes.
So yeah. And it was just over there that I was talking to the man who lives in Fiji, who's actually from Spain, who's doing pencil drawings. He was very strongly encouraging me to do that as well. He says, I can always learn, it's not difficult. But seriously, he has not seen me draw. So I'm guessing in the not too distant future, all those jetties will be gone and they will be replaced by buildings like this. Such a beautiful cool breeze here. So nice. Well, I did spend ages looking at all those different jetties, but it was really cool because each one was so different, and it was just nice to saunter. And the temple was pretty good too. But then I jumped on a bus and went off to look at a different temple. This one was massive. Now that is some massive temple up there. So I'm going to go up and just have a look what the story is. And also see if I can work out where the funicular is, because that's why I came here. Well, that was interesting. I asked the gentleman at the counter how far up it went, and his answer was, I don't speak English.
You don't speak English?
No.
How far do you know?
Yeah, and then I says to him, I want to go to the top. And he threw this at me and said, 8, very rudely. So, not. These lovely ladies are in a tour group. So yay, after all that looking around,
It smells good in here.
Up the funicular.
It smells good.
And it's beautiful and cool in here. So nice to get out of the heat.
Oh, so they walking. Oh, okay, so they walking on that pathway. They go somewhere else. It's a farm. It's right
So I'm getting waved to this buggy to go up further. So that should be interesting. Everyone else seems to be just doing one trip. So hopefully I don't have to wait too long because the temple closes. Okay, so this is like a private tour. It's just me and the buggy driver. So that's pretty cool. Great ringgit. It's a bit of fun. And we're on the second funicular. Well, it is very hazy, but what a view! Can't really complain. Look at all these terracotta tiles. Yeah, and there goes the funicular that I've just come up in, going down. It's rather a large structure. And houses this there's all sorts of other buildings. There's no sort of guide on walking around or anything, so I'll just wing it, I think. So these are the Penang hills, and I think there's some walking trails. So for tomorrow I've actually booked a cycling tour. Yeah, it's a bit crazy, like at my age really, but oh look, I've still got to give things a go, right? So I found these signs quite interesting. So after getting the funicular up I've decided I'm going to walk down. Just speaking to some people, and they said it's a long, long way down, but nah, that's okay. At least it's slope, not steps. So it sort of blows my mind. There's so much intricate, beautiful work here. And so apparently what I saw was the Kuan Yin statue, because this is the entrance gate that I'm just exiting through. So this is just a huge complex. This is like halfway up. So where I was before was the very top. So a lot of people just come to this level. And I think this is actually the main temple. There's actually some beautiful artwork up there. Some of this work is beautiful. No, there's definitely artistry there. I could hear the chanting and I had no idea where it was from. And I've now found it. Can't say that was my favourite temple of all times. It was interesting and there was a great view from the top, but yeah, I caught the bus back to Georgetown, and then it was time to hit the night streets again and find something for my dinner. Had the prawns in there. This dinner, and then it was back off to the hostel because I had a bike ride to do the next day. Good morning. Well, this morning is something a bit different. Yep, up bright and early, and
Hey, good morning,
yep,
everyone.
I'm on a bike.
Welcome to Penang. So the ride for this morning, basically a ride of around 2 to 2.5 hours. 2 to 2.5 hours, what you may expect to see for this morning.
Well, if all the rides like this, it's going to be a really easy morning. So we're just riding for a couple of hours. Coming out here to where we started the ride. Took us about 40 minutes.
Only one, sorry for
there
that.
we are. Monkeys on the power lines.
Penang, we have two variety of monkey, only two. So first one, long-tail macaque. Usually in a big group, 100, 150, lots of them. Not like this one or two. Yeah. They're everywhere, basically to local pest problem.
So these are the long-tail macaques. Apparently they're everywhere, and they're a problem. Like the mafia out at Billet Adventure on the river where we stayed. See my previous video and I'll show you all about it. So yay, not only are we cycling today, we're doing some walking as well. Hopefully we can see some snakes.
It is on the outside. You know palm oil, right? Palm oil is basically from here. This fruit, 60% of oil, 40% fiber. So what could the oils are used for? 60%?
A lot of stuff.
Everything.
Peanut butter.
You got the answer. I want everything. You're right.
Yeah.
So it could be the size of Penang Island.
is actually
So
the
they use
cone,
truck.
and that
Yeah.
seed that
And,
these bananas come from the cone.
This tree, how old do you think this tree?
So we stopped at a little fishing village. We spotted a monitor lizard over there. There's lots and lots of boats here. A lot of them are owned by retired people, so it's more of a pleasure than anything else. There's the group. I'm not out of my age range, which is really good. So there's another monitor lizard in the water over there. Really cool the way they swim around. So they've got no natural predator. People used to eat them, but apparently no longer. So
People go here for
this is a tamarind tree, and there's the tamarind fruit, and there's the lemongrass growing.
Country.
So this is
So
a
the
bird
bird nest
farm.
consists of a lot of things. Some
build the
soil,
nest,
some feather,
and
a
then
lot
they
of shit.
harvest the
But the
nest.
one thing they pick it up from the nest, it's a bird spit. So the bird spit, basically a very high collagen, good for skin. So now you know the secret of Asian beauty, right? Bird spit. And why people do this? Two reasons. First, not much work. Second, good return. Not much work. You go into the houses 1 or 2 times a month, maybe, to collect the nest.
So the first village we stopped at was the Malay fishing village, and this is the Chinese fishing village. So it's interesting wandering around, mainly older people in this village. I wonder if all the young people have just gone to work for the day, or whether, like in Spain, they've actually moved into the cities. I'll have to ask the guide. We stopped briefly for a coffee, and then it was on to our next stop, which was really worth going to.
So which means almost,
So they're using a
almost
drone
each
for
and
all
every tree
the
you see surrounding here,
fertilizer.
fruit tree, you
How
may
cool
see a
is
lot
that?
of tree, brown color tree, right? You did well. You can
So
see
this
it's
is a
falling
rose
all over the
apple.
ground, nobody's bothered about it.
And I think from this tree, and apparently it tastes a little bit like watermelon. But most of their fruit is actually imported from Thailand, including coconuts. So this is a goat farm we've come to, but it's got some very healthy dogs as well. All sorts of things on this farm. I don't think this girl is native to the area. And there's the noisy geese. Not sure what she's doing. So they milk these ladies, and you see that little kid under there, tucked under Mum's chin. How sweet. Lots of low beams. That's because we are so much taller than the Malay people, generally speaking. Hey, darling. Yum, 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 yum. And we're right on the edge of the forest. Apparently all this was cleared, and all the large trees got rid of, and then they came in and they planted all the durian, and that's what that drone was fertilizing, was the durian plants. Breaking. Yeah. Them rescue things. Oh, they're just so sweet. So we also get to taste some ice cream. This is actually made from goat's milk, and it's a coffee ice cream. So I don't think I've ever had goat's milk ice cream before, so it's a treat.
So
these are
the seeds,
nutmegs.
this one, it's where your spice come from, nutmeg powder. So inside this one, they have a nuts in the middle. The nuts in the middle, let me see, let me break it.
So that's just broken in half, and the outside is what they use for nutmeg drink, and inside
Come
this is the
on.
actual nutmeg
You keep
that's
moving.
used
That's,
for like flavouring and like in our baking, and they use it a lot here. And if you eat too much, you actually get a happy high. And these are the nutmegs in there. from the tree stay very cheap here, not worse than harvesting. I only just noticed these guys. Looks like porcupines. Have to check.
But
So
basically,
this is a typical
no longer
Malay
in practice
house.
after the country independence. They cannot go anywhere they like in the old days. So what they do, like this family, they're...
So this is where my cycling tour was, Balik Palau. So glad I put my hand up and went and did that cycling tour. It was really good value, and it was nice to sort of see not only the Georgetown side of the Penang Island but also the exact opposite side. So yeah, then I got transport back and so I've come into another local food hall for my lunch, and I just thought I'd try a little bit of everything. So let me just show you my plateful, which cost me 19.50 ringgit, which is less than $7 Australian. So some of it's meat, some of it's vegetarian, some of it's spicy, and some of it's not. So I'm going to tuck in. I had to skip breakfast this morning because I did my cycling tour. So this is actually the outside of where I just had my lunch, that big plate of food. So it doesn't look like much, but I've watched them actually clean the dishes, and they're really quite diligent. But it's always a little bit of a case of fingers crossed. Hopefully everything's okay internally. So on the way back from our bike riding tour this morning, the guide, I don't even know his name, gave us a little bit of history. And this is the fort. So ocean's over there, right? And apparently Penang's never actually been invaded. They had a few cannons. Some British guy said, someone Light his name was, said that he would protect Penang from invasion if Penang let him come in and sort of rule the place. But he didn't have an army. He just popped up some cannons and that was it. But there's never been an invasion. But it's good that the fort's still here, and it's actually getting renovated at the moment. So as well as the fort, there's actually the lighthouse. So the fort's been here since 1786, and the lighthouse was built in 1882, and it's been through a couple of major renovations. It's actually got some really good repair. It's been cool if it was open for public viewing. Ooh, I'd like that. And this is the front of the house that I'm going to have a guided tour through. It's just stunning. It was started being restored in 1990, and it took 6 years. That belonged to Dolce.pg. So hopefully it's a good one.
In the Guangdong province of southern China. In 1856, when he was 16 years old, with only the clothes on his back, he left China for Batavia, century, and it was built in stages.
So by standing in the middle of these two trees, I'm actually getting good chi. So fingers crossed. At this stage, I am waiting for a visa to go to Indonesia. I wonder if I will get good chi and get the visa tonight. So it's a really interesting talk, hearing all the background, not only of the owner of this house, but actually what was happening when the city was settling. So it's a very beautiful house, and you can actually stay here. They have 18 private suites that you can stay in, and you have access to these beautiful reflective pools, and also there's another swimming pool. So yeah, glad I did this little tour. And then outside there's these beautiful gardens with fountains and all sorts of things, overlooked by a high rise. So today on my cycling little tour that I did, I met a lovely lady from Germany, and she told me about this music festival / market. So I popped down to have a look.
Selalu
just tasted this one here. Well, I've actually tasted all of them, but this one was delicious. So look out for this guy who actually makes it himself. He's the maker. So not only is there music and beautiful drinks to try, there's all sorts of market things, a lot of handmade things. And I'll show another early start this morning. I'm off to catch a bus. I didn't get my Indonesian visa, so I'm heading off to Ipoh. And this is where I've been staying. As I sit on the bus heading off to Ipoh, it might be a good time to say goodbye to you viewers, and thanks for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it and it's opened your eyes up to just another part of Malaysia. So till next time, bye for now.